Hello,
Oh,
how are you?
good. How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm Sam. What is your name?
My name is Brian.
Good. I want us to talk about road trip. Do you travel often?
Uh, Recently, as I've gotten a bit older, I have, yes. But back in high school, no. But I just graduated from college, and I used to live in America where I did a road trip, and after that, it gave me some confidence to come move to Thailand.
Okay. What was your longest road trip?
I've only really taken one long road. Well, that's not completely true. One time I drove down to Florida to try to get my grandpa to come back home for Thanksgiving, and driving for about 18 hours at a time gave me confidence to do a second real road trip. And I traveled throughout the U.S. Started in my home, Virginia, very near Washington, D.C. Traveled up to Lake Erie, Cleveland, to Chicago, Illinois, and where I wanted to go into the Northwest. I looked at the weather report on Google, and it was very cold, and I couldn't sleep in my car there, so I changed my plans and ended up driving all the way south to Texas, and then back up to Washington, D.C.
Okay. Why did you decide to make the trip?
Well, it had been at that moment, COVID had been prevalent for about 6 months, and I was very tired of just being constrained, and to be completely honest, I was tired of my mom complaining about me doing whatever, watching TV and sitting on the couch, and I just decided, hey, one day I want to travel the world in a van, so I might as well try in my Toyota Camry and make a bed in the back and see what I can do.
Did you travel alone?
I did. I met some people along the way, and but for the most part, I was alone.
Did you encounter any problem?
Well, not as far as like getting in trouble with the police or anything like that, but the problems I had were just trying to shower, being worried at night where I was sleeping in my car, back pain from sleeping in the back of my car. But overall, all the rewards of the trip were much higher than the minor pains of traveling. So no real problems, no.
Okay. What about, did you take any medication?
No.
What did you eat?
What?
Food. What did you eat?
Oh, I ate a little bit more McDonald's than I would have liked because I was on a budget. But other than that, I ate a decent amount of oatmeal. I used the trunk of my car as like a pantry for oatmeal, oranges, carrots, which I would primarily get at Walmart's. I was sleeping outside of Walmart's for the most part because I googled that it's actually legal to do that. It does depend on the state though.
Okay. So you travel in how many states?
Virginia, stayed at Shenandoah National Park. I passed through West Virginia. I did not stay there. Pennsylvania, I stayed in Pittsburgh, which was one of my favorite cities. Actually, Pittsburgh was my favorite city, as far as the East Coast goes, for sure. I had misconceptions about Pittsburgh. I heard about how it's a manufacturing city, and I thought it would be dirty, but It's actually one of the greenest cities I've ever seen in the United States. So all the trees really counteract all the manufacturing, and I felt more fresh air there than I have in most of the cities I've ever been to in the United States. It doesn't compare to here, but that's different. Pittsburgh, drove up to Cleveland because I wanted to see Lake Erie. Ohio, it's 4. Lake Erie was majestic. I have never seen a lake that big before, and honestly, it looked like the ocean, but the waves were treacherous too. The currents were smashing up against the rocks, and it was intimidating how big that lake was. I couldn't believe it. I picked up a hitchhiker in Cleveland, drove to Chicago. It happened to be one of my next destinations because I slept on my friend's couch there, and he asked if I could bring him to Iowa, and I was like, I'm not going that way, but I'm heading close. He's like, how about Chicago? I'm like, get in, let's go. So Illinois, that's 5 after Ohio. And like I said, I wanted to keep driving northwest to see some national parks. I wanted to go to Theodore Roosevelt National Park, but it was cold where I was in Illinois. It was even colder up northwest, so I changed my plans and decided, okay, I'm gonna drive south because south is warmer. What's south? Texas. It became a trip to Texas. After Illinois, I believe the next stop was Missouri, where I saw St. Louis, Missouri. No offense to anyone from St. Louis, but did not particularly find anything all that appealing there. But it was still cool to see the city. Let's see, after St. Louis, Missouri, I believe the next stop was Memphis, Tennessee, where I saw where Elvis recorded his first album. Saw some old cars. Everything was very quiet while I was traveling because of COVID. People weren't going outside too much. It was just me alone seeing cool landmarks and different histories. After Memphis, Tennessee, was Little Rock, Arkansas, and Hot Springs, Arkansas, where Bill Clinton is from. It's pretty cool. But I really did enjoy Texas. I saw Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. I believe that was it. And at Chipotle in Texas, they make a much better burrito than they do elsewhere in the world. Mexican people, they know how to fold a good burrito, and a burrito is really all about the fold. If you can pack more into the burrito, it makes it a better burrito. So Texas, after Texas, I drove to New Orleans, Louisiana, where I saw Bourbon Street, and that was definitely interesting. The nightlife there was a lot of crazy people. Then after New Orleans, I got tired of sleeping in the back of my car and said I want to go home, and drove about 13 hours straight home. Stopped in Mississippi, but I mean I went to Mississippi, didn't really do anything there, and then may have passed through some. I did pass through some other states coming back to DC. Stopped at my college, Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia, but before that stop, I didn't stop in any of those states driving north.
Okay. Which state is your favorite?
Texas.
Why?
It was cheap. And something that bothers me in the U.S. is how there's such a big fight in politics, and if you're a Republican, then a lot of people will call you racist or a fascist, and if you're a Democrat, then I'm not exactly sure what they call you, but anyways, it bothers me how either you believe one side of the news or believe another side of the news, and there's such a big fight. And for me, it was a bit refreshing to go to Texas and have everybody just be Republican and agree with each other for the most part. It wasn't something that I was expecting to make me like a state more, but and then also the food was cheap, the food was delicious, the weather was nice. It was just a totally different lifestyle than what I've become accustomed to in Washington D.C., and it was refreshing to me.
Okay. Do you have any plan to make long road trip in the future?
Oh, for sure, because that was a way of preparing me for my future plans. I felt like if I could do that in the back of a sedan, then I want to take a van and take everything out if they have seats, or buy an empty van and turn it into like a nice little mini apartment and travel as many places as I can. Currently I'm in Asia. I would love to buy something here and drive all the way through Europe, put that onto a ship and go back to North America, start in Canada, go all over the place. Time will tell.
Okay, sound nice. Thanks a lot. Thanks for talking with me.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye bye.
See you.